During the course of Darian's 2.5 years, he spent 9 months in the hospital and had 11 surgeries. 5 of those were on his heart.
We saw lots of parents having to leave every day, not being able to be there with their children. Kids need their parents while they're in the hospital, and that was the inspiration for Spare Key.
21 days in the hospital before Naomi was born. She was born at 31 weeks. She spent 75 days at Children's Hospital in Minneapolis.
Drew was born at 30 weeks with a serious infection, and he was in the hospital for 5.5 weeks.
Our youngest son, Joe, was 5 years old, and he was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of cancer. He spent 6 weeks in Children's Hospital getting chemotherapy.
Our daughter Emma showed up quite suddenly at 23 weeks gestation. She was 1 pound 6 ounces, smaller than a ruler. She was 11.5 inches long.
I was in the hospital a lot as a kid. You know, it was kind of my second home.
When Sadie was first born, she was very ill, so she was transferred to Rochester, and she spent 19 days in the NICU unit.
During the last few years of her life, we spent almost 50% of her time in the hospital.
We were in the hospital for a total of 33 days with Anna. Megan came home after 26.
The girls were born premature and spent about a month in the neonatal intensive care unit. At the same time, my husband was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia and was out of work for the better part of a year with cancer treatments.
Spare Key came into our family's life at a very important time. It meant we could keep our home, that we didn't have to worry about some of the other things while we concentrated on getting Joe better.
You know, I got the phone call that Spare Key was making that payment. I think I almost dropped the phone.
You know, Spare Key was the only source of assistance that we received during this time, and it came as divine intervention should, right when we needed it the most.
Just the 1 month of Spare Key gave us enough time to take care of our girls and to get enough of an idea what my husband's prognosis was going to look like, and we were able to keep our house.
Having our mortgage paid by Spare Key meant that we could spend our time with Emma in the hospital trying to get her home instead of being at work trying to get our next mortgage paid.
Leah was able to take a little bit more time off work, a longer maternity leave than initially planned, because we didn't need to have the second income to make the mortgage payment for that particular month.
The moment that I found out that Spare Key had accepted our application, I was actually just about to pull into the parking ramp of Children's Hospital to find out whether Naomi needed heart surgery. And I actually had to pull over because I was just overcome with gratitude.
Spare Key helps keep my family with me when I needed them the most.
At a time when there's so much stress and fear, it's just wonderful to know that other families are willing to give a gift to help others at a difficult time. And I can't say how much we appreciated that gift and how grateful we are for Spare Key.
We can never say thank you enough to the wonderful people at Spare Key for how they helped our family.
It's just an amazing organization, and our family will be forever thankful to Spare Key and the people who are associated with it.
It was like they were there on the journey with me, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much to Spare Key, and muchas gracias por esa bendición, Spare Key.
I think they've been pretty much our savior during this time.
About 6 months after Riley passed away, I decided that it was time to give back, and I began volunteering for Spare Key.
We started volunteering for Spare Key, and I'm just incredibly happy to be able to help pay forward to other families what Spare Key gave to my family.
Thank you, Spare Key, for helping us bounce and not break.